Chicago has one of the most beautiful skylines in the world, with large exclusive skyscrapers and historical high rises. And today we will check out the best way to explore the beautiful skyline by boat. There are many different ways you can book your tickets for a boat and architecture tour of Chicago. You can go to a site like Viator.com. You spend around $50 to $60, or you could come down to the harbor itself and you can book a ticket. There's lots of times, lots of spaces throughout the day available. You could go there in person and book it, or you can book it online, but expect it to be about $50 or $60. You could go down to the harbor or go down to the river walk. There's different tours that lead from different spots, but the tour is absolutely worth every penny that it costs, and it's highly recommended. I've heard for a long time that you have to take one of these, and after finally doing it, I can see why.
And it is. It's like a living museum of architecture. We're going to spend the next 75 minutes floating down it, and we are going to use our eyes, our ears, possibly our noses, and our skin to directly experience the sensory experience called Chicago. And I'll be your interpreter for that experience. Who am I to interpret? Well, I'm Becky, but you no, Lake Michigan out there is a freshwater lake. It's part of the Great Lakes, which are 5 lakes shared between the U.S. and Canada. They hold 20% of the world's fresh water. Whoa, I know. Every single time I say that, I'm like, holy moly. So, 20% of the world's fresh water in this region of North America. Lake Michigan is third largest by surface area, second largest by volume. It's a gigantic lake. It's about 100 miles wide, 300 miles up and down. At its deepest, it's over 1,000 feet. It's enormous. It is like a freshwater sea. That's exactly what it is. And of course, it's part of the reason why the city of Chicago is here. Where Lake Michigan and the Chicago River is geographically strategic. We'll go into more detail about what is so geographically strategic about this city later. U.S. Army Corps of Engineers keeps the lake from draining too quickly into the river. So we're starting to swing around here. This is the direction of the river. Head to the left, beyond that first bridge. That marks the beginning of the main branch. That's Lakeshore Drive, the major north-south expressway. Off to the left, you see those sailboats with all the masts against the sky. They're in Lake Michigan. That's Lake Michigan. But we are in the river. It's that concrete retaining wall. Ooh, concrete retaining wall separating two bodies of water. And then around the bend to the left, which you can barely even see, but past our sister boat over there, the Skyview, is the entrance to the lake. You get a good view of it on the way back in from the river. But Lake Michigan Lock is out there. Now this lock, like I said, it keeps the lake from draining too quickly into the river. Isn't that opposite of normal? Doesn't a river usually flow into the lake or into the nearby sea? Yes. This river has been reversed. This is the only river in the world. So yeah, you're on a backwards river. And with this bridge, we begin the main branch of the Chicago River. On this gorgeous Monday, gray and sunny. Everybody stay hydrated today. It's supposed to be really, really hot today. But let's start talking about it. To the left, we'll start with our brand new third tallest tower in the city. Tallest building in the world, built by a woman architect. I know, right? We're starting with this building. That's crazy. This building is called the St. Regis. It's from 2021. It is very much brand new. Hotel and residential by the architecture firm Studio Gang Architects of Jeannie Gang, lead architect. Jeannie Gang's a big deal. She's a Chicago architect. She's kind of a hot shot right now. Last year she was picked to build the multi-billion-dollar expansion of O'Hare Airport. So that's this architect. Now this building to the left, this represents a variation on current trends that I like to point out. A tall blue glassy skyscraper, but with a little bit different than what we're going to see for the rest of the tour of the contemporary skyscrapers. Blue glass, that's the trend these days. But notice there's 6 different shades of blue on this building. It creates a light to dark gradient up and down the building. And that kind of emphasizes the curving facade. Look where it meets the sky. The building actually bumps out and bumps back in, creates a curve. You're not going to see that again on a building on this tour. I call the current trends of skyscrapers ice cubes because they're giant, big, boxy mirrors. But I call this a frozen water cube. This building is a building that's referencing the waterfront. It looks like water, it's on the water. This is called contextualism, site-specific design, referencing the space that it's in. That's the trend since the 1980s. We're going to see a lot of contextualist buildings taking part in this. Now here's another one, straight ahead, second tallest building in the city, 2009. It is 1,396 feet tall, and if you couldn't tell, it is Trump Tower, Chicago. It is from the architecture firm Skidmore, Owings & Merrill and the architect Adrian Smith, but I'll get into that later. This building is referential, it's contextual. Notice the setbacks. At 3 levels, there's 3 giant balconies. They're all at the height of neighboring buildings. Where the Trump sign is, that setback is at the same height as the main roof line on that white building on the right with the clock tower. I'm like, already past you, dude. Anyway, the second setback above the Trump sign is at the same height as the top of the clock tower and the top of any 1920s skyscraper because they had a height limit. That's the height of the setback of the second Trump Tower setback. Now the third setback, that's at the height of the plain black skyscraper behind it to the left of it. That's a Mies van der Rohe skyscraper. He's a big deal. Mies van der Rohe is considered the inventor of glass skyscrapers, those plain glass box skyscrapers. So yeah, Trump Tower is like tipping its hat to its neighbors. It is in its form. It is referencing its neighborhood. It is fitting into the neighborhood nicely. This is contextualism. This has been the trend since the 80s. That's a 2009 skyscraper. Also the sky blue glass, that's contextualism too. It's basically designed to like disappear into the sky. It's a massive skyscraper in the midst of a lot of smaller historic skyscrapers around it. That's on purpose. I think that Trump Tower, Chicago, many historic buildings we'll see. This is the first historic building we passed because everything we've passed up until now is man-made land. It's all landfill. So this is the old lakefront, this bridge right here. This is Michigan Avenue, so Lake Michigan. Now this white building from 1924, it's the Wrigley Building by Graham Anderson, Probst & White. Gorgeous, ornate building. Built to be the Wrigley corporate headquarters, like Wrigley Chewing Gum and Wrigley Field, same Wrigley. They're not in there anymore, but it's still an office building. And it's designed to look like the Cathedral of Sevilla in Spain. So let me repeat myself. This is an American office building designed to look like a Catholic church in Europe. It's kind of funny when you think about it. And that's really common in the 1920s. This is called revivalism, or European revivalism, in this case Spanish revivalism. It's American architects leaning on historic European forms to bring beauty into the American city. And it works, they're gorgeous buildings. This building's iconic in Chicago. They light it up every night. It's visible from many different angles. Here's one of many bridges we'll pass under. So if you want to start paying attention to the bridges, none of them look the same. They're all unique. And every single bridge on this tour lifts. They all open regularly in spring and fall for sailboat traffic at this point. They used to open for freight shipping at any time, 24/7 on demand. When this was a shipping channel. It is not anymore. Now back to Trump Tower, Chicago. This is by the architect Adrian Smith. He's a big deal in architecture. He is the architect of the tallest building in the world. Chicago architect of Burj Khalifa in Dubai. You know what the Burj Khalifa looks like. It looks kind of like this building, except on steroids. And the architecture firm, Skidmore, Owings & Merrill, you're going to hear those names again a lot. Skidmore, Owings & Merrill is basically synonymous with skyscrapers in the city of Chicago. And we're going to see more examples of their work soon. But let's go back to this plane. Actually, you know what? Forget that. To the left. Let's talk about the pretty domed building on the left. Another 20s skyscraper. This is the Jewelers Building from 1927. This is more revivalist. This is more American office building looking like a religious like Italianate Roman temples all over the corners and the top dome, like a fancy pantheon or something. So yeah, this is more of that 1920s revivalist architecture. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful. And then on the other side of this bridge, we'll get a completely different look. We've got a lot of different wonderful works of architecture on this river. To the right, the two round skyscrapers. This is Marina City. Nobody calls them that in Chicago. Chicagoans call them a cute nickname, the Corn Cob Towers. Yeah, like giant corn. They're from 1967, could you tell? They're from the 60s. And they're modernism, but they're curvilinear modernism. A lot of modernism is boxy, glass box modernism, but in this case we've got circle forms. The architect Bertrand Goldberg loves radial symmetry, he loves circles. They are apartments, which you can tell because they have balconies. Underneath the apartment levels, we've got parking garage levels. Separating them from the river, because in the 60s when these were built, the river has strong stench, and had it for many decades thereafter. Now look at the ground level. We got restaurants at the ground level, of course the marina at the river level. This is built to be a city within a city. The building also had bowling alley, ice skating rink, grocery store, and a movie theater when it was built. It was like a whole neighborhood. Bridge construction. Because nobody lived downtown when that was built. Corn Cobs were the first major downtown housing development. So they built a whole neighborhood so you could have someplace to go in the evening, basically. It was successful, the city within a city concept. The Corn Cobs have always been popular. They are now some of the oldest housing stock in downtown Chicago, and thus some of the cheapest housing stock in downtown Chicago, depending on whether the owners have renovated or not. Many of them don't know. 4 levels of outdoor dining on the right. The Riverwalk's on the left. Let's talk about the red brick building on the right with the clock tower. Hello, strangers. That's the Reed Murdoch from 1924 by George C. Nimmons. This old red brick building on the right, this is our first example of a purely American style of architecture. It's called Prairie School architecture. Get this, Prairie School buildings, low and flat with the prairie. There you go. This is Chicago. One of our nicknames is Paris on the Prairie. Isn't that cute? And this is Chicago, the middle of the Midwest, the agricultural breadbasket of the United States. If you look at the top of the red brick columns, see the crisscrossing patterns? It's definitely right the North Branch in a mall. There's a little kayak tour straight ahead of us. This part of the city's changed a lot recently. It has the blue glass tower on the right. Check out the people giving us a skin show on the balcony. Blue glass tower on the right, blue glass tower under construction on the right. Behind it, another blue glass tower. Straight ahead, oh look, a blue glass tower. To the left again, a blue glass tower. And to the left again, with Bank of America at the top of the blue glass tower. Every single one of these towers finished in the last 4 years. These are all brand new skyscrapers. This is the look of the contemporary skyscraper. Not just in Chicago, but internationally around the world. If you're putting up a skyscraper, probably looks like that. Get your cameras ready, pointing to the left right now. Thank you, Chicago Transit Authority. And then the kayakers. Those people are good kayakers. So, back to the Ice Cube, as I call them, these big blue glass towers. This is the look for 2 reasons that I've been able to figure out. Number 1, the building's a big mirror. It reflects heat off of it. It's cheaper to maintain long term because it's cheaper to cool. Number 2, the building's a giant mirror. It fits in wherever you put it in a city. It just reflects what's around it, suits the context nicely. Now these 3 ice cubes, as I call them, these are Wolf Point towers. The one under construction will be an office tower, Salesforce Tower. It's 2 neighbors that are already complete. These are residences. They are Wolf Point West and East. Now what was here before Chicago has 3 big skyscrapers here before these big, brand new 3 skyscrapers started. This was a parking lot on the riverfront. Because that's what the river used to be like. This river was not a place for you to hang out. This river was an industrial river, a dump. park your car on it and leave it. But you didn't want to be near it because it stank to high heavens and it looked like a dump. It was disgusting. And that really has only changed in the past, I don't know, 20 years or so. The corn cobs, again, they were built up high away from the stench of the water. And the shift from industrial river and dump and shipping channel to recreational waterfront is now like almost 100%. It is complete. Down on the river, they're my favorite thing on the tour. Way ahead of their time in 1989, built with a dock on the river. People really weren't thinking of the river like that even back then. The late 80s. But now, one unit has been sold by an original owner. Only one of four has ever been sold. Sold last year for $2.3 million. So, being ahead of your time on the river ended up working well for the river cottages. We're on the North Branch. The North Branch continues another 7 miles. There's not much to see up there. It's largely industrial. The North Branch originates 7 miles north of us. It flows south. It gets narrower and narrower the further north you go. What I'm saying is we're turning around here. We're going to turn around here, head to the South Branch next, which I think is much more spectacular. And as we turn, our boat gets really noisy for the townhomes to the left, so we hop off the light. If you'd like to hit up Sylvia at the bar, now would be a good time to do so. Otherwise, if you have any questions, you can wave me down. I'll be walking around. We can chat. And I'll get back on the microphone at the bridge. I would say enjoy a little quiet until then, but enjoy a little construction noise till then. By the way, these are 2.5.
And that's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I ask that you please hit the like, please hit the subscribe button, please hit the bell notification so you can know when I have more material coming out in the future. Help us to continue to grow as a travel community. And as always, remember, live today, grow today, tomorrow's never guaranteed. Peace and travel. Lots and lots of travel.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please hit the like, share, subscribe button. Leave any comments below. I love to interact and help us to continue to grow as a travel community.